now present For the Record.
Just ahead, the big question as the first presidential debate kicks off in Milwaukee this week, what's happening with Donald Trump?
At the end of the day, you don't know who's going to show up until we actually get there.
Plus, 3 Dane County board members resign. Welcome to For the Record, I'm Naomi Coles. This week, we'll kick off the 2024 presidential campaign with its first debate. And it's all happening right here in Wisconsin. Now, as always, the battleground state to watch. Fox News will host a debate, and the Republican National Committee co-chair Drew McKissick is with me this morning previewing what to expect. Drew, good morning.
Good morning. Great to be with you.
So we're taping this Friday morning. As of Friday, how many candidates have qualified? What are we expecting this Wednesday?
As of right now, I believe the number is 8. Possible we could see a 9th, but all that will be settled by Monday afternoon.
Give us a refresher of just the rules to qualify and what things that candidates have to agree on in order to participate in this GOP primary debate.
Sure. So first off, obviously they have to be officially, filed candidates who've actually opened the proper accounts and so forth. But most importantly, number one, they have to be at least 1% in the polls, at least 2 national polls, 2 of the early state polls. So that's either Iowa, New Hampshire, South Carolina, or Nevada. And they have to have acquired at least 40,000 donors nationally, with at least 200 per state. So the point there being to make sure that our candidates are building out their financial support base because obviously we have to raise money to beat Democrats next year. And then third, they have to sign, obviously, the pledge, which is that they will support whoever our party's nominee will be. And this is the same language, same pledge that we used back in 15 and 16 in that cycle.
I have to ask you about the news just breaking in the last couple hours. Donald Trump, it's been the toss-up card. Will he attend? Will he not attend? He just put out this, right here on Friday, saying he does not plan to attend the debate, and instead he plans to do a counter-programming interview with Tucker Carlson. What's your reaction to that?
Well, at the end of the day, you don't know who's going to show up until we actually get there. But the president would certainly qualify. We've got, I believe, again, as I said, probably 7 or 8 other candidates who will qualify as well. In the 15 cycle, we weren't sure if President Trump was going to participate then as well, just as we are now. So we'll see. But when this is over with, I think people around the country are going to get a great look at a bunch of candidates who, under any measure, would do a far better job representing our country, promoting policies that Americans care about than Joe Biden.
How would the RNC handle if he actually does a competing event at the same time of the debate?
Well, it's not a matter of anything for us to handle. We're working to put together debates that, again, can showcase the candidates that we offer to the American people. So it's up to individual candidates what they do, whether they participate, whether they attempt to, do events at other venues at competing times or not. That's not for us to decide. We don't run the individual campaigns. Our job is to put together the debates and essentially manage the process whereby Republicans all around the country will choose who will eventually be the next president of the United States.
And how strict would the RNC be in enforcing Trump to agree to ultimately support the nominated candidate if it were not him?
Well, this is the same thing that we did in the 2015 and 16 process when it came to our debates. These are RNC debates, so we create the terms of who will participate. Obviously, we don't want to put together a process that features candidates who wouldn't eventually support the party or support the party's candidate. And in the 15 and 16 process, every single candidate who appeared on that stage, I think it was 17 of them to begin with, all signed that pledge that they would support the party and the party's candidate. And I would add, by the way, a lot of state parties around the country have similar language built into their filing documents for the presidential primaries or caucuses that they have. In my own state of South Carolina, I'm state chairman there as well. That language has been in our filing document for decades.
Now, we can't talk about the debate in Milwaukee without talking about the RNC convention in Milwaukee next summer. How does this debate set you guys up for that?
Well, this is the first bookend, if you will. So we're actually having the Republican National Committee meeting in Milwaukee the same week as we're having the debate. It'll be great for the people of Wisconsin. It's going to be a great boost to the Milwaukee economy. And it's going to give the people of Wisconsin specifically a great look at our candidates and, again, who I believe ultimately that nominee will be the next president of the United States.
Now, I can't finish this interview without asking the obvious. I have reported in Wisconsin for a long time. I'm a proud Wisconsinite, and one thing that I find myself saying every election cycle is talking about what a battleground this state is. So just wrapping up here, talk to me about why Wisconsin is such a focus for the RNC ahead of 2024.
I mean, you and I could probably, bet our homes, maybe how 40 states will go next year in terms of the presidential election. There are about 10 or so, give or take, who are, battleground states. The outcome is a little bit tighter, giving Wisconsin the extra attention here in terms of the debate plus the convention next year. But at the end of the day, it comes down to the grassroots, doing the things that we need to do to, number one, communicate our message. A message is relevant to people. Number two, putting together the infrastructure that it takes to actually identify Republican votes and turn them out. And then number three, raising the money to make number one and number two possible.
Again, that's the co-chair of the Republican National Convention. Drew, thank you so much for giving some time today. We really appreciate your insight.
Absolutely. Happy to. Thank you.
All right. We will be right back.